The churches that are really growing in this country are those that have embraced LGBT equality and are working for it and giving people a model for community that is about mutual love and respect. We've been heartened lately by two new polls that have been done. One of mainline Protestant clergy that says that 2/3 of those clergy are just waiting on their parishioners to get ready to hear the message that LGBT people are loved of God and deserve full marriage equality rights. The other poll showed that 2/3 of their parishioners are sitting in the pew each Sunday thinking, I just wish this guy would give some leadership on this issue. I'm ready to go.
I said, when do we want it? Now! And what do we want? I said, what do we want?
There's a whole world that is waiting for people of faith to act in a just and public way. There are people who are waiting to hear their own voices echoed, their feelings, their deep thoughts heard and articulated from the pulpit and from people of faith.
Putting faith into action means living out one's theology and spirituality as you help to transform the world. At least for me, Jewish tradition teaches that we must participate in the ideal of tikkun olam, which means to repair or heal the world.
Those of us in the Abrahamic faiths, in Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, we have a prophetic tradition which says, and I'll quote Hebrew scripture, Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God? Do, love, and act. Those are verbs, those are action-based, and that's prophetic language.
One of the most amazing examples comes from the 20th century. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel was one of the great contemporary theologians of the late 20th century. He marched with Dr. Martin Luther King and was one of the first rabbis to do so.
Heschel was the white man with the prophet's beard, two to the right of Dr. King. That was the occasion on which Heschel said he felt he was praying with his legs.
And that is the motto of putting faith into action. That it's not just about book learning, it's not just about theology, it's about taking action and being part of a movement of transformation.
Dr. King, if he were alive today, would be on the side of justice. He would be on the side of LGBT justice and advocating for marriage equality as a civil right that all should enjoy.
If we look at the civil rights movement carefully, so much of the momentum that sustained that movement was the momentum of letting God's justice come to the counter, to the schoolhouse, into the center of society. That was people trying to put justice to work that Amos talks about, that Isaiah talks about, that Jesus talks about.
Doing this work and being active on the issue of marriage equality has deepened my faith. It has deepened my spiritual commitment to my community. It has made me want to be active in more ways. It has made me want to be a better Christian. It has made me want to do more service.
I need to tell you that my life was transformed as a result of doing same-sex marriages here.
It's just common sense. It's a human rights issue, it's a civil rights issue, it's economics, it's everything that I as a married person benefit from. I don't understand why we are depriving another group of Americans from enjoying the same benefits. Like the Quran said, when you see injustice, you really have to speak up.
My name is Father Jeffrey Farrow. I was born in Cuba. I was ordained a Catholic priest for service to the people of the Diocese of Fresno. And my parishioners asked me to make a statement of clarification on Proposition 8 because the diocese was promoting the Yes on 8 position and they were divided over this. And on the 5th of October, I made a statement in which I explained why personally I felt morally compelled to vote no on Proposition 8. This is not an issue we choose, this is an issue that chooses us. There is not a family on earth that doesn't have a member who's lesbian or gay.
When clergy step up and say, I stand with my brothers and sisters, with my friends and neighbors, I stand with the human family for equality because I believe that God has called us all to that, because I believe that equality is a part of God's will for everyone. That is very, very powerful. Clergy shrinking back away from equality for all is a devastating blow to equality.
I began to take my role as a pastor more seriously when a parishioner came to me after service one Sunday morning and said at the door, "Pastor, that was a very nice sermon today, but I don't need a nice sermon. And if you're only going to preach nice sermons, I will go to another church because I need to be challenged. I need a pastor who's going to challenge me to be more socially active, a person who connects the front pages of the newspaper with the social gospel." He said, "If you can't do that, I'll find a pastor who can." So I was pushed by a parishioner to move out of the safety and sanctity and serenity of the sanctuary into the streets, and to begin from the pulpit, but also to take the stories in the Bible and apply them to everyday life.
My daughter's best friend at school, that little girl has 2 moms. And during Prop 8, my daughter said to me, "I'm worried about Bella's family." And that's the kind of empathy that I want my children to have. I want them to be thinking about the impact of all these political abstractions swirling around us. We have to remember that they impact individual people's lives. The point of my activism is to bring Christ's love into the public sphere, to bring the values of empathy and compassion and responsibility for each other, to bring that front and center, both in my personal life and in my public life. And I want them to be able to model that themselves.
There are many ways that people can put their faith into action around marriage equality, including doing outreach and dialogue with others of their own faith tradition who might differ on the notion of marriage equality, learning about one another, learning why your faith calls you to work for marriage equality for people who are on the other side, as well as to hear their concerns, is a very important part of this marriage equality battle.
I have determined that in order for me to have full integrity in standing with persons who love each other and have been denied the legal right to marry, I will not perform any marriage ceremony until that right is granted to all persons.
We have dozens of people who have come here, joined the church, and are now very healthy, active, engaged, committed members, pledging, tithing, working all across the spectrum of our work. They came here because we took a strong social justice stand on equality, on marriage equality, and because they know that we've been blessing unions for decades and that we're not about to back away from that, and we want to move it to the next level of civil equality in terms of marriage. We have lots of people, not only gay people, but we have people whose family members are gay and lesbian, we have people whose children are gay and lesbian, we have people whose friends and siblings are gay and lesbian, who are straight themselves, who came because they want to be a part of a community that stands up for justice for all people, that proclaims marriage equality as a part of God's agenda for the human family. And they come and they stay and they work, and it's an amazing experience.
We are called upon to be an image of God. You see, God is absent, invisible, and the task of a human being is to represent the divine, to be a reminder of the presence of God.
Once we become committed to becoming the face and hands of God to people, God provides that experience every single day, to be the face and hands of God to people who are in trouble or lost or excluded.
If we follow the guiding principle of Dr. King that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, it mandates that we speak out on behalf of the LGBT community. To our faith leaders, I must request, in fact demand, that we use our faith to affirm the dignity of all of humanity and not to oppress. This country has seen this go on for far too long. And if we do not pursue justice for the LGBT community, then we will not have justice for any community.